Fiona Whitten from Oakville Crafts here, and welcome to this week's Stamping and Creating. There are 5 Wednesdays in this merry month of May, so this is the 3rd of my Stamping and Creatings for this month. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Last week I went back and did some simple stamping, and this week I decided I was going to use a simple technique, one which I started using years and years ago, and I thought I'd resurrect it, and it's called a one-sheet wonder. Now I can hear you thinking, what the heck is a one-sheet wonder? Well, if you love designer series paper and have a whole stack of it like most of us crafters do, then this is for you, because it's a good way of using it up. Now just bear with me for a moment whilst I see if I can actually make sure that this is live. I think it is. Looks like it, which is good. Yep. Good. Right. Okay. So I'm going to crack on. So, earlier today, I went on the internet, and this is something. If you put into that well-known search engine and just put in one sheet wonder, there will be so many options available to you. You can do it using 12 by 12 paper. You can do it 6 by 6 paper. You can stamp your own background paper and then cut that up. There are so many options out there. It's absolutely crazy. But this one sheet wonder is actually called a double one sheet wonder, because what you actually do is you use 2 pieces and cut them both at the same time. And as I go along, you'll see why that is. So I found this on the internet by a lady by the name of Robin Ambrecht. She put it up, it must be a year ago now. She's in the States, or at least she's using inches and American size cardstock. So I've had to rework it slightly, so my cards are not, they're in the same style, in the same format, but not exactly the same measurements. Because here in the UK, we have A4, which is totally different to the US letter size cardstock. So we're basically starting from a different base. So I've adapted the cutting instructions slightly. I will put them up. I'm probably going to do a blog post for this so that everything goes in one place. But I will put the links up on both on Facebook and on YouTube, because this video will get uploaded to YouTube later this week. So this is the first one that I made this morning, and it uses the Bright and Beautiful 6 by 6 paper. For those of you not familiar with it, it's part of the Beautiful Balloons suite. So that's the stamp set that looks like that, and the paper is quite bright, and there are 48 sheets. I'm not going to go through all of them, but some of them have stripes, some like that. We have circles, we have stars, triangles. Let's see, what else do we have? Confetti, diagonal stripes. Did I say stars? That's the stars. So there's all sorts of things here to choose from. So it's 48 sheets, 12 different designs, and you get 4 of each sheet. So that was my starting point. It was also the paper that we used on Saturday for the Beautiful Balloons class. So I had 2 sheets, and in fact I used that sheet and that sheet, and this sheet I should say, together, and cut them up. And in doing so, these are the cards then, once I'd cut all the pieces up, I made. So the first one was this one, just very simple. I've kept it simple. There's no die cutting, there's no punching. All the sentiments are stamped direct onto the card front. So this was just two rectangles stuck side by side, a little sentiment because there was not much space there, and these are the iridescent rhinestones. I like these because they kind of pick up the colours actually on the card. So that was the first one. This was the next. So pieces were put on diagonally, and I put the sentiment on a diagonal. This is the next one. Now these are actually the opposites to these two pieces. And then this is one of the cards that I had to modify slightly because our cards are longer and narrower. I found that I couldn't get this to go right to the corner, so it's all hidden underneath it. So there's ways and means, which means it does mean that this is not a complete, well, it is a right, yeah, it is a right angle, it's just not bang smack in the middle. This was another, so this actually used 3 pieces. So two, and they're all just simple as a strip, a rectangle and a slightly shorter but fatter rectangle which has the sentiment stamped on it. And then again, this is, you can see the rhinestones. And then this was the last one. So again, it's got 3 pieces on, and there's sort of just, these two are staggered, and then this third one goes right across, and again, I put in a little sentiment at the bottom. So most of these sentiments, in fact, that one's the same as that, and that one all come from the Beautiful Balloon stamp set. So I used that one, and that one. And then on the inside, I stamped balloons. So I used that stamp and that squiggle there. So it's that and that on the inside. And then, of course, you can use the same stamp to do your envelopes. You don't have to stamp. You could have, I could have used another sheet of the paper, but I've already used up 2. There really wasn't anything left. I mean, it was just literally a small slither. So that's what it came up as. So I'm going to redo these, but obviously I'm not going to use the same paper. I'm not going to use the same stamp set. So I'm going to use something completely different. Put these to one side. In fact, I'm just going to put them on the floor because I know if I don't, I'll end up knocking them and they'll end up there anyway. So it's just as easy to start off that way. So what I'm going to start with is some of the countryside in paper. Now the idea is that you find 2 pieces of paper, designer series paper, double-sided, that will go together and that you like both sides of, because you will be using both sides. Ideally, try and go for something that's non-directional. The countryside inns don't really have that much of an option, so I decided I was going to go with the bunny rabbits rather than the trees. And then we have flowers, and then that side is just, they will complement each other, no problem. So that's what I decided I'm going to use this time around. Now the trick is that because we have metric card bases, A4, in the UK, it's a lot easier rather than using a straight 6x6 if you use 2 sheets of paper that are 15 by 15 centimetres, because it also means that you're not having to put 15.2, because 6 inches is roughly 15.2 centimetres. So it's a lot easier just to trim off that 0.2 to start off with, and simply start with 2 pieces of 15 by 15 centimetre sheets of paper. So as I said, you can start off with simple 6x6s. We do some packs of 6x6s here at Stampin' Up. Most of that is 12 by 12. Obviously, you can just cut your 12 by 12 into very simply in half and then half again to get your 6x6s. So you'll get even more out of a sheet of 12 by 12. So this will, just these 2 sheets will make 5 cards, just so you know. So what we're going to start with is we're going to put the two sides that are the busiest, that we like the most, we're going to put them together. So they're facing each other. So then we're going to cut through these 2 sheets at the same time. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And I'm going to make the first cut at the top at 5 centimetres. And it's important to try and keep these as, together as much as possible. She says it's just going to separate them again. So 5 centimetres. What is it with this? There we go. 5 centimetres. All the way down. From the top to the bottom. And you just move that piece, the larger piece, out the way for the time being. And then this piece, we're going to turn it and cut it at 8.5 centimetres. Making sure that they are exactly the same. So we've got our first 4 pieces that we've now cut out. I'm going to leave them there. So we now have, going to the larger piece that we had left. So we are 10 centimetres across, and you're going to cut a square. So the top piece is going to be a 10 by 10 centimetre square, like so. Put that to one side for the moment. And then the piece that's left, it should be 5 centimetres because we had 15 by 15 to start off with. So we're going to cut that so that is 4 centimetre strip, and then that will leave us with a 1 centimetre strip. So if I just move that over slightly and move them over slightly, you can see that these are the pieces that we have. And then what you're going to do with the square 10 by 10 piece is you're going to cut it on the diagonal. Now I've found you do not want to go from corner to corner, just so that you know. So I have found that if you mark, well, not necessarily mark, but if you put this point and that point either side of your line at, you can do it at the 2.5 centimetre mark. I think I know why this is going funny now, because this has got a really big ridge on there. So those diagonal points, this one and that one, if you put them either at the 2 centimetre mark, so if you line that one up with 2 centimetres and that one up with 2 centimetres, so you end up with having a straight piece at the top here and a straight piece at the bottom. And if you cut on that diagonal, like so, you will end up with pieces that look like that. And that's all the cutting you actually need to do. So we end up with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we end up with 12 pieces. And those 12 pieces will then go on to make the 5 cards. Okay, right. So the next thing you want to get is not necessarily your card bases, because at the moment I haven't decided what colour I'm going to make mine, but this is all going to get put onto basic white cardstock. So rather than you sit there watching me cut them, I have already cut these, and I'm going to need 5 of them. So I've actually cut 10, so that because I want them for the inside as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our 5 card fronts. And then we're simply going to start. So this was the first one that we had originally, and it makes a landscape card. You could put it portrait if you wanted to. It's really up to you. I just have to remember which ones. So we want, let's see, I put these back there so you can see where they're coming from. So these 2 pieces came from here. And you're simply going to stick them on like so. And you can put them in any order. You don't have to have the pattern on both. You can do the flowers and the stripes. This is the nice thing about having the double-sided paper, is that you could do that and that. I did actually quite like that one with that. And you can have your little arrows on this one going up or down. It's really up to you. I think I'm going to put them that way. But I'm not going to stick them just yet. I'm just going to carry on showing you how they all go together. So that's the first one. The second one is a portrait card. Now we're going to be using these pieces here. And the question is which ones we're going to use, because we don't want to be using the same ones. So if we're going to use the rabbits, we want to make sure that they're the right way up. So we would have to use those 2 pieces. Although we could put the rabbits up down here, like so, and then have that way. So it's really, doesn't really matter which way you go, whichever you prefer. I think I like the rabbits at the bottom, so that's what I'm going to do with that one. The next one, again, is a portrait. This time we're going to use the other 2 pieces. Now, as I was saying earlier, because of the way this is cut and the way our metric cards work, I don't really want it going like that. So if we hide this piece here under that, that works for the third one. I want to say third. So that's going to be the 3rd card. And we could, I don't really want the bunnies, I've already used the bunnies once. So that's like that. So that's number 3. Number 4 is going to be, well, you could have it landscape or portrait. It's really up to you. And then that piece can go like that, or we can just have it like the darker side. What else is on the back of that? Or we could do that. No, can't do that. Can do that. Again, it's really up to you. It's what you want to do. I think I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick mostly with the flowers, I think. Although the next one will probably have to be the bunny rabbit. So then the last one is going to be landscape, no, portrait. So we're going to have that piece and then the bunny rabbits. And again, we can either put, yeah, I'm going to put that across like that. As you can see, because this base piece of white here, basic white, is 10 by 14.4. These strips that are 10 centimetres wide fit perfectly all the way across. But the idea is that you just, within the confines of what you've cut, you can play around. I mean, this one I could put it so that it's like that, that and that. And then I've got lots of white space to put a sentiment. But I kind of thought that actually looked a bit, and in fact, looked a bit like that. Or you could just have it the other way around for that. But actually, I quite like that. Maybe that's what I'll do. I specifically went that way with this one because I wanted to stamp a sentiment directly onto the paper. These papers are a little bit too fussy to do that, so I'm going to use a punch and things. So these are going to be a little bit more, have a little bit more on them than the other ones. So that's going to be that. So I'm going to glue these on. Once I find my glue, which is here. Let's see now, is this going to work? Yes. Glue is good for this because you can move it around a bit before it dries. So if it's not in the exact position that you want, and my idea here is I'm trying to get it so that this 3 sides there are the same, roughly the same. So you've got an equal border. So that one's going to get butted right up, like that. So that's the first one. Glued. Second one. I did originally, for the first cards, I did use just 6x6 paper. I didn't trim it. And then I found that I actually had to go around a lot of the cards and simply trim little bits off. So I figured that actually, let's start with the right size from the beginning, and then we don't have to go around and trim anything off. It'll all fit on perfectly. And you may find also that because you've cut the two together and they're they're each facing each other, you will find that one or the other will have a slight raised edge because of the way the blade has gone through. So if you just use a bone folder or your thumbnail, you can very easily flatten it. That's that one. So that's 2. This is the third one. This is one I need to remember that I need to glue this piece first and then that piece. So this is the third one. So I don't know if you've seen from my Facebook page and from my blog that all of June there is a designer series paper sale. So this pack, so the Countryside In pack, and also the Bright and Beautiful pack that I used for the other set of cards. They're both in the sale. So there are, I think there's 13 packs, I think, most of which are 12 by 12. There are a few 6 by 6 packs, and they're all 15% off, which is great news, because I'm actually starting to run a little low on my paper, so I'm definitely going to be ordering some more, just to stock up. And everything that's in the sale is, actually I was going to say everything, but it's not true. Most of the paper that's in the sale is in the annual catalogue. There is one pack that is in the online exclusive, that is in the sale. And then the other thing that's starting tomorrow is there is a joining offer. Stampin' Up tends to announce everything on a Tuesday. So if I've already sent out my weekly news, which I tend to do that on a Monday, just as a part of the what's happening this coming week, I kind of miss it. But it's just one of those things, I'm afraid. So anyway, so yes, for the whole of June, there is a joining offer. So if you join the Acorns during June, you are able to purchase or order £154 worth of product instead of the usual £130 worth, and you still only pay the £99. So that's an absolute bargain. And what's more, you can take advantage of the paper sale, and in June there is also a pre-order for Demonstrator, so anybody joining in June will be able to take advantage of that. There are some new online exclusives coming, starting 6th of July, and starting tomorrow, Icon and other all other demonstrators, irrespective of whether they're running a business or just purchasing for themselves, we all get treated the same. So we are all able to purchase items from the pre-order. And that goes for any pre-order, be it from catalogues or online exclusives or one-off items, which is a really good perk. Right, so I'm nearly finished. So I'm now on card number 5. So I've got my flowers. I'm going to put the bunny rabbits on, like so. And then that piece is going to go across the middle. Like so. I don't know. Hopefully I've got those in the right place. Let's see. It needs to go down a little bit, I think. There we go. Right. So that is the 5 bases, pieces that are going to go onto the base card. So I've got what's the landscape, portrait. That's another portrait. Yeah, another portrait. So I've got 2 landscape and 2 portrait. I still haven't figured out what colour I want to put this onto. So I could put it on Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, or what have I got else have I got here? Balmy Blue, on Boho Blue. But I think I'm just going to do the stamping first. Now I could stamp directly onto here, like I did with the previous example. But I'm going to use the Timeless Arrangements stamp set, and I've actually got together a selection of different label punches. So we've got all sorts of things here. We could use ovals, could use circles, could use any of these. And I don't know, I think the circle's too big. Let's see how, but a lot of these sentiments are not particularly huge. So thank you. Let's see now, would that go on here? Yes, it would. Okay, right. So that would go on one. Do we have a birthday? Let's see, thank you. I could do all sorts of things. Thank you very much. That would fit on something else. That wouldn't fit on there. A very big thanks. No, hope your day is filled with everything good. Where's that? That's that one. That's that one. About you are the best. You can see I've used some of these already. These ones, these also got used on Saturday for the class. That's that, and I think we'll just stick with those three for the moment. So let's see. Some of these may fit on directly. Not sure that that will. But these two, I'm going to do these two first. So I've got some basic white cardstock. Now, because this is a photopolymer stamp set, I do need to use my old Stampin' piercing mat. I don't really need my piece of scratch cardstock at the moment. But what I do need to make sure is that wherever I stamp, I can punch it out. Now, because this is 2 punches in one, I think I'm going to have both pieces white. Normally, if you wanted to stamp onto white and then have this piece as a separate colour, I would recommend you just cut your cardstock as a strip that would fit whichever portion you wanted. But I'm going to use both bits of that. So I was going to say I was going to use the thank you, wasn't I? Oh, my ink. So I've got Balmy Blue, Night of Navy. I think I'm going to use Night of Navy because that's kind of quite a nice dark colour. So I'm just going to stamp that in the corner there. Like so. And then if I turn this punch over, this is the lock for the punch. So if you push that up, it will unlock the punch. And then when you have it upside down, normally you would be able to fit that around. I obviously didn't go down low enough. When I stamped it, I could have gone down a little bit further. So what I'm going to do is just take a bit off. Like that. And then it will fit. So you want this so that you've got the thank you directly in the middle of your punch, and then punch through. I'm going to put that on top of that, and then that is going to go in the middle of that. So that's how that one's going to look. And that would work on there as well. That's actually quite sweet. Might re-leave it on that one, and then this one. Am I going to do thank you again? I think I will actually, because I'm in need of some thank you cards at the moment. This time go a bit close to the bottom, I think. Hopefully that's close enough. Keep closing my ink because I'm having a bit of a time at the moment putting things in it by mistake. So here we go. So that's the second thank you. So that's going to go on there like that. So that's 2. Now this one, it could take a bigger sentiment and we could put something in the middle there. Let's see, now if I put that, hope your day is filled with everything good, that would be fine, but what would we want to punch it out with? So we could punch it out so that it went into the middle of that. That would work. Actually, because this, I would say because this is photopolymer, you could actually punch everything out first, but I'm not going to risk it. I am just going to carry on stamping onto the basic white and then punching out from there. So this one I know needs to have a fair bit either side. So that's how that's going to look. And what did I do with it? Have I hidden it? There we go. There it is. So that's going to go on there like that. So that's the third one. Fourth one. I'm actually going to stamp it direct onto here, and I'll show you why in a second. So what am I going to do? Do you are the best? I think that's what I'm going to do. And then just have to hope and pray that I don't make an error on this. So I'm going to stamp that on there. You are the best, and I'll come back to that in a second. And then the last one, could do another thank you. That go down there. Nope. Could do a happy birthday, but I need to go grab a different stamp set. Right, give me 2 ticks. So this is the one I used this morning for the, I was going to say the happy birthday, so there it is. So it's a small stamp. It's there, so it has a small font. And that too will fit into that oval. I'll take that one off, stick it to one side so I don't lose it. Pick that up. And again, just stamp it onto here. Like so. Close that up so I don't get inky. I'm going to use the little one like that. I'm not too worried about that because I'm not going to use that piece anyway, so I'm just going to chuck it. Now I could put that on there like that, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a piece of scrap cardstock, of which I seem to have tons. I'm going to use Barbie blue, I think. And I'm going to punch out the scallop from here So I only want that bit. That's that bit there. And then I can put that on top of that. And then that can go in the middle there like that. So those are all my sentiments taken care of. And I'm happy with that, so I can take that out of the way. Oops, let's move that onto a block so I don't lose it. So we've got that one, that one. We have this one. And then we have these two. Then depending on what you want to do, you can take these even further. And what I've actually done is I've gone a little mad with some more of my scrap. And I've used the bow punch. And I've also used the petal builder punch. So this is from, where's it from? I have to get the catalogue out because I can never remember. And I've used a mixture here. I've got all my scraps together. So I've got the large ones, smaller ones. I've punched out some vellum. So that's boho blue, balmy blue, night of navy, all sorts of things here. So what I was going to do was on this particular one here, because those I'm happy with, I don't think I need anything else, but these two, you might want to put something extra on. So let's see what we got here, if I just pull a few out. So we could build up a flower using these. I'm just going to use my take your pick tool because it's quick. And that end there is quite good for sort of creasing things to make a flower. So if we put that on there, and then we can go the next size down, like so. Put that on, like that. Just do that now, so that can then dry. Put that on there like that. Let it dry. Hopefully it's in the middle. I'm not sure that it is, but it will be in a second. And then we've got some of these that, as I said, are the vellum. So we could put them on here as well. I did think I cut some out using cardstock, but maybe not. But these you can, well, we can cut them down. You can fold the leaves just to give them a little bit more extra dimension. Curl them, whatever you like to do. So that'll be that one. Maybe I'll just put one of these in as well. Oops. Put that in there like that. Could put some more down. But you can, again, you can go as mad or keep it as simple as possible, like that. Now I need some glue dots, which have done a bunk. I'm amazed I have everything. Not quite to hand, but they're pretty close at the moment. So I'm going to use glue dots to fix these together. And I'm also going to just take a bit off the bottom because I don't need them to be too long. So that. And then do I want wanted to put, I think I might put another leaf on. That's that. And then this can get glued on here. So that's going to go on there like that. And then I will put a rhinestone in the middle of that. And then we could do something similar with this, but maybe with a different, coloured flower. Just do the smaller ones. Let's see. I know I've got more. Just keep this one a little bit more simple with just the flowers. Glue these together quickly. Try and use up all the glue that I have. I seem to have lots of bottles of Tombow with not much in them. Right. That one can go on there. No, I think I'll just put it on the diagonal side. That. No, I do like it, I prefer it like that. And I'm going to use some dimensionals to put those on. Okay. So that's going to go on here, like so. Hopefully it's sort of straight. I have to remember I still haven't put these onto the card fronts, so don't panic if they're still looking a little bit odd. It's simply because, as I said, I haven't done that yet. I'm going to glue this piece on, and then the other bit I'm going to put on with dimensionals. Like so. And could, of course, as I said, put the scalloped oval as a more fancy bunch, like I did with that particular card there. Can go on some more dimensionals. I only need 2. It's a little punch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's move those out of the way. That's that one done. I mean, you can still add other bits. So you can add this is the sort of way you can go completely to town and put extra bits on and things like that. So this one I have used coloured cardstock. Like so. So those are the 5 basic fronts. I need to add a rhinestone or 2. She says I've got to find them. There we go. Let's quickly add a rhinestone. I think we can put a big one on here in that centre there. These can have some middle-sized ones, I think. Maybe I should have put the dimensionals underneath there, but hey. Like that. And then, of course, you can add more. I might put a little one here. And then here, I don't know. I could spend forever and a day doing this. And then the last thing we need to do, or I need to do, is figure out what colour I want to use for the base card. So I've used Note of Navy for all of the sentiments. So let's just see what this looks like. So that would be, I think Note of Navy would work quite nicely. So I need to cut 2 that are landscape and 3 that are portrait. So landscape, you just want to cut in half on the short side, because I like to have my folds to the left. I'm not overly keen on having them at the top of a card. It's great for taking photographs of, but on occasion they can have a habit of sort of separating, so that you end up with a card that's basically just flat. So I prefer to have mine on the left, so I cut mine at the 10.5 on the short side. And then for the normal cards, you cut in half on the long side. So that would be at, well, it's 14.9, but I do it at 14.85, and then I know that both sides are 14.85, because I don't know why A4 is 29.7 centimetres. But hey, so I'm going to turn that and score at 10.5, so that I've got 3 portrait cards and 2 landscape cards. Like this. So that will get glued to here, and that one like so. I will finish these ones off later and take photographs of them so you can see. Don't think I need a dimensional backing on that. So that's that one. And then these 2 look like that. And I've got some basic white to put on the inside as well, so that you can actually stamp a sentiment. Right. So that's my 5 cards that that I've made now using that double one sheet wonder technique. As I said, you can just simply Google. There are so many out there that it's unreal. But this one came from a lady by the name of Robin Ambrecht. So you could look her up. But bear in mind that hers are done in inches and based on American size cardstock, which is different. So I will put all the instructions and cutting and the template up on my blog. It's going to take me a little while, so I will try and get that done by the end of the week. But photos of all the finished cards will go up on Facebook too. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing this. Don't forget, June sees the paper sale with 15% off select packs of double-sided paper. And also there is a brilliant joining offer. So if you would like to join and take advantage of all the benefits of being a demonstrator, you do not have to sell. You can just do it for yourself. It's really up to you. Then please get in touch. Or if you look at oakfieldcrafts.com and then click on the join at the top, and that will just give you some more information so you can read what it's all about. Okay, well, thank you for joining me, and next week's Card and a Cuppa, so I'll be at Home Grange in the morning, and then live here for the virtual Card and a Cuppa at 2:30. Take care, bye.